Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The more we become aware, the less we remain as a problem to ourselves. In fact, many a times we are such a problematic personality for ourselves that nobody can help us. And what are those problems? When we don't become aware of those problems, there is no possibility that we will ever try to change ourselves. And all the spiritual practices that we are putting forward conscious efforts to change ourselves. And when we don't do this, we, like Duryodhana, start blaming the whole world for our failures. And therefore, here the teacher says, whatever you have inside, that alone will be coming out. Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. If we are sitting on the roller coaster, the up and down will definitely influence us. The only way is get out of it. Therefore, in the 62nd verse, the teacher says, Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashvatam. Therefore, get out of this relative existence and put forward efforts to get into the absolute abode. So this is the last word now in the spiritual practice. We have to get out of the relativity. If we have to get out of the relativity, let us find out where from the relativity begins. Relativity begins from our own gross body, and it begins the moment we are identified with the gross body. Don't bother about the whole world. Because the whole world that we talk about begins from where? It begins from our gross body. So the world begins from our gross body. The moment we are disidentified with the gross body, as in deep sleep, the world is over. Similarly, when the world is created by the God, the moment we are identified with the gross body. So all the problems of relativity are rooted in this one event of our life that we take for granted, that we are living as a body, on everybody. This is the basic thing. If our spiritual life does not lead to disidentification from the gross body, we have deceived ourselves. See, we come across many times people who are conducting various kinds of management seminars, stress and strain workshops. I do not know all of them, but subsequently they come and talk to us. And when they come and talk and we see, they are having the first-hand experience of stress and strain. Themselves not allowed to come out of that. Our Upanishad says, Andhe naiva niyamana yathanda. Like the blind leading the blind. Please take it. That all the problems of our life are only from this moment of body identification. Therefore, the only solution to the problems of life is body disidentification. Now the question is, how do we begin? First step, get out of the gross inert matter and enter the kingdom of consciousness. How this is done? When we look at this altar, the base is made of marble. And the idol of Bhagwan Sri Krishna, that is also made out of marble. Isn't it? Now when we look at the base, we look at it as a piece of marble. But when we look at the idol of Bhagwan Krishna, we don't look at it as a piece of marble, is it not? So what we are doing? We are seeing an inert object and trying to discover the consciousness hidden in that inert object. Is it not? This is the meaning of upasana. Upasana is, we come in contact with the inert world and try to invoke the consciousness. This is called as the devotion. I was reading to Meeta one SMS I received. कृष्णा करे तो रास लीला, हम करे तो कैरेक्टर ढीला. देखो, और उसके बाद हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण. So when we look at the world, are we able to divinize our experience? And that is the technique. And therefore the teacher told us, instead of struggling in this world, why don't you do everything as the worship of the Lord? Swakarmana tamabhyacha siddhim vindati manavaha. So instead of having duty orientation, let us discover the devotion as the foundation of life. Therefore, tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata. Sarva bhavena. Bhava means existence. In and through every kind of expression, try to suspect divinity. As on now, we suspect something bad in everybody. So suspicion is the investment that we have to make. And we have got plenty of it. Isn't it? We are not short of suspicion. Now the idea is, where do we invest that suspicion? So, sarva bhavena bharata. So in every perception, in every action, in every interaction, in every gain, in every loss, in every relationship, sarva bhavena, start suspecting divinity in your life. You know what will happen? Slowly, divinity will take possession. And all the activities and relations will be secondary. Remember, I told you once a story. There was a boy and a girl, and the boy was a dumbo. Boys are normal dumb, Girls are smart. So, that's why the girls can take them for a ride. And this boy, he was a sentimental. He said, honey, I shall write you every day a letter. And after we complete 365 letters, then we will marry. She was thinking, why dumb fellow, why not get right away? No, let us have some romantic, life. So he said, all right. What can I do? He started writing every day a letter. Now, those days SMS were not there. Or else you will get like I get, non-stop. So, first day the letter came, postman came and delivered. Second day, same type letter, third time, fourth time, fifth time. Slowly, the postman started looking for her letters. Because every day repeated. And she started waiting for the postman. First, waiting for the letter, then for the postman. And after a few days, the letters were received and dropped in the dustbin, and the postman was received and put in the heart. And by the time 365 days are over, now that Romeo has come, so she said, yes, you please bless me. I am carrying 4th month. What happened? Is it the effect of the letter? Yes. Because of your letter, my husband became very close to me and now we are married. See? Letter became a bahana and the postman took over. In the same manner, in every experience, bring the element of God. Slowly, all the experiences become secondary and the divine principle becomes the primary aspect of life. See? You give him a finger, like the mortals, he will not catch your wrist, he will catch your throat straight away. This is how bring the element of divinity in your life. Means what? All the time by default, like I receive many letters in that. By default, the upper thing. Respected Swamiji, by the grace of my Guru, by your blessing, and by the Krupa of Bhagwan, and my Ishta Devata, and my parents, and my grandparents, I am all right. Please remember, if the divine principle starts overtaking our thinking, you know what happens? I will tell you from 2 angles. From the average man's angle, he starts attributing everything to God. As a result, what happens is not important. But every happening is a reminder of the divinity. See? I'll tell you an example. Once I was in Pittsburgh, in US, and I went with one Amma, and suddenly it started snowing, and I was with my normal this dress, and it was so cold, -30, suddenly. So she said, Swamiji, what will you do? I said, you have to do something. I had nothing to do. I am done with. So we went to a shopping mall to buy the coat and everything for me. And after we got it, putting everything, when we went home, her daughters told, hey Swami, you look damn cute. I said, don't tell lies, I don't look, I don't look cute. And then, hey, who bought it for you? Second question. I said, my Krishna bought it for me. You don't bring that Krishna every now and then in between. Why don't you tell my mom got it for you? I said, no. I'll explain you after dinner. We finish our dinner. Then I told her, look here. Today your mom got it for me, therefore she is good. Tomorrow she is not able to do, therefore she is bad. On the contrary, whatever I get because of the Lord, whatever I don't get because of the Lord, what is the net result? Net result is everything is reminding me of the Lord, and therefore there cannot be any likes and dislikes for anybody in this world if somebody helps or somebody doesn't help. The net result will be our mind will not carry the load of likes and dislikes. Here is scientific technique. Second thing is, They are looking at the same thing. Sarva bhavena bharata tameva sharanam gaccha. And this is a very simple technique for the intelligent people. But intelligent people are most miserable. Intelligently miserable. For them the technique. What is the technique? Don't dig into the cause and effect. जो है हाँ ठीक ऐसा ही होता है. Don't go into that. But why did he tell me you come here and I am waiting for last 2 hours and he hasn't come? Then why don't you cell phone him? Why should I? Why not he? You will see all our problems are born out of one stupid word. Why? Delete the word why from your vocabulary. Why? Every problem begins from this word why. The moment you stop cause and effect, you are at home. You don't waste time in thinking. You know the maximum energy that an intelligent man wastes is only in thinking. And it is not a productive thinking. It is a habitual thinking. See, suppose some relation tells you, your son or daughter, not daughter-in-law, son or daughter. Suppose they tell you that I am coming home by 8 o'clock. And if they don't report by 8 o'clock, your mind will start thinking. I think a truck must have run over him. Now here his body must be lying, I have to go and search. Which hospital should I go? Go on imagining. Now what is the technique? Technique is, because he has not reached on time, therefore there must be some accident. But we forget, if a truck dashes my son, the truck will be broken. See? Go on imagining and projecting the so-called cause and effect. Therefore, don't waste time in this kind of inquiry. Why the people are like that? It's like that. You have seen the result of all the inquiries conducted by government about anything. Only time pass. Ultimately, the case filed by Mr. Patel did not have enough evidence to make this one statement. You had destroyed the life of the other person. And we consider we are the lawyers and the judges, never delivering the justice. Name may be justice, but we only judge. We never do justice. This is how the whole mess is. Never get into that. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata. Then tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashtratam. What will be the result? The result will be, you will remain cool and quiet. Now be attentive. When you remain cool and quiet, when everything is in 6s and 7s around you, then alone you can think creatively. Then alone you can discover solutions to the problem. Problems are the expressions of the disturbed mind. Solutions are the other side of the mind. The other side of the problem. Like the husband and the wife. They are the two sides of the same coin. They don't face each other even once. They back each other. Isn't it? Therefore, Sarva Bhavena Bharata Param Shantim. This is the Para Shanti. Remain undisturbed under every condition. Disturbances have never solved any problems. Worries is not the beginning of a solution. Param Shantim. And don't we appreciate the people who are of the calm and quiet disposition? See, when we appreciate those people who are calm and quiet, why can't we experience that by ourselves? Why did you say why? Therefore, tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashvatam. And friends, for this shanti alone, we do all the shanti around. See? We have only recognized the shanti which is opposite of ashanti. But there is another shanti which is undisturbed by the ashanti, which is not enhanced by the shanti. That is the parashanti. So, tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashvatam. And this is shashvatam. Once only in your lifetime you have to recognize this truth. See, how many times the objects come in front of our eyes and go, eyes remain untouched. How many times various themes come and go in front of our mind, mind remains untouched. How many times waking and the dream experiences come and go, the consciousness remains untouched. This untouchable is the reality. He is the highest scheduled caste. So, tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashvatam. After having told this, now the teacher says, iti te jnanam akhyātam guhyāt guhyataram maya vimrushye tadasheshena yathechasi tatha kuru. Before we get into the subject matter, I'll tell you some very important thing. One day, one young boy came. Now he is a father of 2 children. He came and he said, Swamiji, I went to so many people and I am confused whether I should get married or I should follow the path of renunciation. I don't know what I should do. I said, I'll analyze before you. When you are married, you have a cause to be miserable. When you are not married, you have a freedom to be miserable. So you decide now. Vimrusha etat asheshena. This is the fact. Now you decide. No. You tell me what I should do. See? The other day I received email. One young girl wanting to marry an elderly man. And she writes that he is so and so and he is so and so. And then I love him, he loves me. Our everything matches except the age. So either you must be old or he must be childish. And he is ready to divorce his wife and children and marry me. So you please guide me. What should I do? Should I get married? Go ahead. Will it be a successful marriage? See. So to such questions, what can you reply? Yathechasi tatha kuru. Please remember one thing. Indians particularly, we are all expert in taking decisions for others. A wise man never takes a decision for others. Having told everything to Arjun, Bhagavan Sri Krishna told Arjun, whatever I had to tell you, I have told. Now, you decide. This is the most important principle if we really want to grow spiritually. If we are not able to decide in life, we have become bonsais. This is what happens when hum do hamara adha adha. that useless child is growing like a bonsai and then never able to decide anything in life. One has to learn to face the challenges of life with all the struggle. Fall down, get up, rise, give one, take one and grow. I remember there was one child, long time back, elder child and the second one, brother. Second one was like, what is that? Munna Babu MBBS. He was that type. What is that? Sabko malum hai. I just wanted to see my depth of spirituality and he wanted So, the second was like that, Munna Bhai. And one day, the elderly, I was in their house. And the elder son was about 8 years and younger was 5 years. And playing outside. And the elder one came crying, "Mommy, again today he has beaten me." So the mummy told me, "Swamiji, I don't know why this elder son is always crying and comes and complains. Younger one takes care of. I don't have to bother about it. What I should do?" I said, "You send him to me." He came. I said, "Now look here, dear, go out, take a stone and hit the head of that fellow who troubled you." "Okay, Swamiji." He went out, took a stone, gave one, and the fellow started bleeding. Then he came. "Why did you do that?" "Swamiji told me." Isn't it? One has to learn to live in life by being responsible, and we are responsible if we are ready to take decisions about our life. See? Those who are 100 times asking everybody, "Shall I take one chapati more or not? Shall I take?" No. We make creepers out of our people out of it. Therefore, here the teacher says, "Iti te jnanamakyatam guhyat guhyataram maya." Arjun, listen. The secret, the topmost secret, guhyat guhyataram, that I have revealed to you. What is the secret? In the absolute, there are no problems to be solved. In the relative, there is nothing but problems. The only way is get out of the relativity and remain established in the absolute. Leading at a political level is the lowest kind of existence. Living as a jiva, as a soul, doing sin and merit, being afraid of God because you have to go to the hell and the heaven, or you want something, so invoke the divine spirit and somehow or the other try to amass the wealth. Use God as your instrument and keep the worldly achievements as the goal. Second one. And the real one is to discover the absolute truth, that you are not that miserable soul. We are in the 18th chapter, concluding Bhagavad Gita, the scientific art of living. I'll give you last word. If you take it with you, who cares? If you don't take it with you, who cares? And the truth is, never accept yourself to be a miserable soul, a miserable jiva, that I don't know what sin I had done in the last life, that I am married to you in this life. You are that absolute reality. Refuse 100% that there cannot be any other option. And with that, play the game of life. See? This is the last word. Itite jnanamakyatam guhyat guhyataram maya. There is nothing more than this to be known in all the scriptures of the whole universe. If this is not achieved, we will be all the time disgusted, frustrated, and will become most miserable in the search of happiness. Guhyat guhyataram maya. This is the ultimate secret of our life. Now, vimrushya etad asheshena. Now you inquire, you contemplate, you evaluate, you see yourself that in this world, how many times, how many people were born, how many times, how many people grew into the mature, strong human beings, how many of them got married, how many of them had children, how many of them perished. It is a routine that is happening in this world. There is nothing new. And if we are just living for that, because of the passions of the parents, the body is born, which we claim to be ours. Because the calendar leaves are fluttering away, therefore we grow. And one day, because everybody has to die, the formality we complete. Is this the life? Think. Vimrushya etad asheshena. As a human being, at a morphological level, we have attained perfection in nature. There is no higher form than the human form that the nature can produce. Higher than this, the evolution has to be only spiritual evolution. It cannot be material or psychological. Please understand, spiritual evolution is different than the psychological evolution. In the psychological evolution, you develop different kinds of siddhis. You study Patanjali Yoga Darshan, there in the 3rd chapter, Vibhuti Pad, you are given all the techniques. If you have learned the Sayyama, Sayyama is Trayam Ekatra Sayyamaha. When you are able to hold your mind with reference to time, space and object in perfect control, that mind has such a tremendous potentiality that anything that you think can happen. And with that, all the siddhis can be attained in this very life. But that is only a psychological evolution. It is not a spiritual evolution. Don't get carried away by all that. But normally what we do? Normally we imagine, I went to that Mahatmaji and I was having a backache and thereafter he just patted me and my backache has gone. I remember once it happened, somebody came from Switzerland in Lonavala. He came for something and all that, and he came, and I do not know, I never do anything out of any calculation. So when I saw that man, I just said, hey, come near, I don't know who he was. I just hugged him. I said, Jor se dabao. He says, yes, Swamiji. And I crushed him for no reason and left. And then next year he again came with one more person. And he said, Swamiji, after last time I came, my back pain has gone for good. I was suffering for last 20 years. And after my experience with you, I told my friend. So he also came. I said, what do you think? I'm a crusher or what? Remember, don't get carried away by all these things. Discard it right in the beginning. Otherwise, you start getting into that hallucination. Last night I was sleeping, somebody came. and told me, Beta, you get up in the morning and turn to the right and you will come across tremendous wealth. And I turned to the right and went and I fell down. Don't get carried away. These are all the psychological evolutions. I am not telling they are wrong. They happen. But we get caught up in that. Even Patanjali Maharshi says, you must know all these, that they can happen. But these are the obstacles, antaraya, the word uses. These are the big obstacles on the spiritual evolution. Therefore, guhyat guhyataram maya. Not only rejecting the relative world where we are suffering, not only consoling with the dharma, adharma, going to the hell and heaven, collecting the sins and merits, and remaining as the jiva or the soul, reject that also. Don't be satisfied with the various psychological power that you can develop. Go beyond. Like when we have 1,000 rupees note, includes everything in that. Yavanartha udapane samkruta sarvato mukhe. In the Bhagavad Gita we are told that as when you are in the midst of the Ganges, everywhere there is wonderful drinking water. That time you don't have to carry a bisleri with you. In the same manner, he who has discovered this absolute infinite reality, that is the truth, then everything falls in right place. Therefore, this is the truth I told you, Arjun. Now, yatechati tatha kuru. What do you know? I cannot give up smoking. You do know something, Swamiji. How can I give up smoking? Okay, you make a cigarette out of gold, and that cigarette should be at least 1 kilogram of gold weight. And then come and give it to me as a dakshina. Then what will happen? You will suffer throughout your life. Don't get carried away by all this. Discover your inner potentiality. Don't remain as a weakling in this world. Any Mahatma who will make you a weakling, he is putting a hook in your mouth. Discover your strength. You are that reality. Therefore, here, vimursha etat asheshena yatechasi tatha kuru. When we go to learn the driving, and if we have learned the driving, our ability to negotiate through the traffic of Ahmedabad increases. Ahmedabad traffic cannot be improved upon. You just can't do anything about it. In the same manner, this whole world of relative existence, nothing can be done about it. Focus attention on your essential self. That is the way. Therefore, vimrusha etat asheshena yathechasi tatha guru. Now you decide what you have to do. Sarva guhyatamam bhuyaha shrunu me paramam vachaha ishtosi me drunamiti tato vakshami te hitam. After having put down his cards, the Lord, out of sheer compassion and love. You know, when you love somebody, you don't mind repeating the things in spite that fellow doesn't want to listen to you. Don't we do with our children? Now hear the Lord. Use the words of the Lord. Ishtosime. You know, we think that the Lord is our Ishtadevata. Bhagavan says, Arjun, you are my Ishtadevata. See the greatness. Therefore, I tell you again, Sarva guhyatamam bhuyaha srunume paramam vachaha ishtosime drudamiti tato vakshami te hitam. So, keeping this in view, that you are someone very, very special to me. And therefore, again I repeat before you, what is that? Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru mam eva eshasi satyam te pratijani priyosi me. Now here is the technique. Manmana bhava. Let your mind have only one theme, and that of the divinity. Manmana bhava. Then madbhaktaha bhava. We can think about something or somebody even as an enemy. Don't think of me as an enemy, but as madbhaktaha, as my devotee. And madhyaji. And whatever you are doing in your life, do it for my sake. And the last one, mam namaskuru. And thus dissolve your mind in the pure consciousness. Now just observe. What is that because of which all of us experience bliss in the deep sleep? These three things. First thing, manmana bhava. The mind is absorbed in the consciousness. Now second thing, madbhaktaha. When we go to sleep, we are in love with the sleep. Madbhaktaha. The one who is angry, frustrated, he cannot go to sleep. And the third, madhyaji. Then all the things that we do preparation to go to sleep is only to unite with the Lord. And last, mam namaskuru. Ultimately, we even give up the effort to go to sleep. Till such time, there is an effort put forward that I have to sleep. Till then, you can never sleep. And this is what the conscious sleep, he is awakening. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti sayami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. In the second chapter, the Lord said, where the average man is sleeping, to that reality the wise man is awakened. And where the average man is awake to the relativity, to that the wise man is sleeping. This is the only way. To look at the world from the same standpoint from where the Lord is looking at the world, all the problems will dissolve. I'll just give my special example. And this is one example which has really helped me contemplate a lot. These are the three visions. First vision, I had told this example number of times. Again I am repeating. Why ishtosi me dudamiti tato vakshamite hitam? Because I love you all. See, the following visions. First vision, the wave looking at the wave. The second vision, the wave looking at the ocean. The third angle, the ocean looking at the wave. The fourth angle, the water looking at the ocean and the waves. Now understand this. When the wave looks at the wave, competition, jealousy, achievement, failure, struggle, fear, isn't it? Because there is relative existence. Now, better than this vision is the wave looking at the ocean. O Lord, thy will be done. Bhagwan, tumhari ichha, hari ichha, inshallah. Second vision, wherein we are ready to surrender ourselves, recognizing some higher reality. When we recognize some higher reality, we find an altar, a support, wherefrom to gather strength. This is the second vision. In this vision fall artho jidnyasur artharthi, the lower kind of devotees. Now the third vision, ocean looking at the waves, is the vision of the wise man who is living in the midst of the relativity. Yes, people are like this, but because they are like this, you are getting the market. It is good. People should be ignorant. Then only the wise people are, valued. It's good. Therefore, the wise people never get disturbed by the foolishness of the relative world around. The third vision. The fourth vision. The water looking at the ocean and the wave. From the water's point of view, ocean is not the cause, waves are not the effect. Meaning, going beyond the cause and effect. Because where is cause and effect? Cause and effect is only in the mind, in the intellect. The moment you drop the mind or the intellect, you are freed from the shackles of cause and effect. And when we start living in this world without the limitations of the cause and effect, you are. That's it. There is nothing where any qualification or clause is added. Therefore, manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru. Whether you take the vision of the waves looking at the ocean, or the ocean looking at the waves, or the water looking at them, these are the three evolutionary stages in the life of a seeker. So, mam eva eshyasi satyam te pratijani priyosime. You shall definitely come back to me. Pratijane, I proclaim. This is the proclamation of the Lord. There is no doubt about it. Pratijane priyosime. Because you are my dear. Now, how do we attain this supreme state? Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru. Now, this is explained in the 66th verse, and the 66th verse is considered as the topmost verse of Bhagavad Gita by many Mahatmas like Bhagwan Shankaracharya onwards. Bhagwan Shankaracharya has given a complete summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita thought after this particular verse. There are two verses where he has commented maximum. One is the second verse in the 13th chapter, where the Lord says, Kshetrajnam chapimam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Hey Arjun, understand, the embodied are not many, as many are the bodies. Embodied is one, although the bodies are many. This is how the Jiva Bhava is erased in Bhagavad Gita. But normally we get carried away by that. That Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, this is only a prakriya, this is only a step in between. It is something like, the children who do not know or no interest, so they are taught one balloon, then two balloons, then three balloons, then four balloons. So slowly their attention goes on the balloons first, and then they start recognizing the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. In the same manner, this soul, then earlier life, the present life, the next life, the sin, the merit, going to the heaven, going to the hell, dharma, adharma, these are the in-between stages. This is only the wrapping in which the truth is wrapped and given to us. But we get so much attracted by the wrappings that we go on collecting the wrappings. And that becomes our old real spiritual life. It is not. This is expounded in the 13th chapter. We have seen it long time back. So, here is the secret in this 66th verse. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam charanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Now this is the most enchanting verse of Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya. On the basis of this verse, one person in Assam, he asked me this question. Assamese, Bengalis, when they pronounce Sanskrit, it's a joy to listen, It is such enchanting beauty that what they talk, nobody knows. Like, Atma, they cannot say. They say Atta, Atma. Advaita, they never say Advaita, or not Advait. Similarly, Tattvamasi, Tattamasi. See the difference. So, he said, Swamiji, I have studied Bhagavad Gita, and one thing I have come to know. Bhagavad Gita is a book of contradictions. I said, if you understood this, you have understood everything in Bhagavad Gita. There is nothing more to understand, because the whole world is contradiction. And Bhagavad Gita deals about the world, so you are right. No. My view is different. What is that? In one place, Bhagavan says, Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. We should live according to our dharma. And in this verse, sarvadharman parityajya. Why this confusion? Now please understand here. We will take this view from this verse on 2-3 angles. Sarvadharman parityajya. Dharma of all. Now which are the dharma with which we are living in this world? First, the dharma of the body becomes our dharma. The body is born, I am born. The body is that of a man, I am a man. The body is that of a woman, I am a woman. Then the body first grows vertically, I am growing vertically. Then the body grows horizontally, then I am going into a round figure. Then the body falls ill, then I am ill. Then the body becomes old, I am old. And when the body dies, I die. So what we have done? The dharma of the body are accepted as my dharma. On the basis of this alone, in the second chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna has explained to Arjuna. Arjuna, when you look at the world, and if you think you are a body, and you know these are the properties of the body, so accept it. But what is the problem? Like Hiranyakashipu. You know the story of Hiranyakashipu? I'll tell you in short to bring this point. His elder brother, or his brother, Hiranyaksha, he was killed by the Lord by taking the Varaha avatar. So when he was killed, his wife naturally became a widow. So started crying. So Hiranyakashipu went to his sister-in-law and said, don't cry, everybody that is born has to die. And he gave a beautiful discourse of Vedanta for her. And as a result, she came out of the delusion and the confusion. But then Hiranyakashipu started thinking, Arey, that means if I am also body, I will have to also die or what? No, I have to do something. And then he did a lot of tapasya and invoked the God. And what he said, I want to continue to live eternally. Lord said, not possible. He said, okay. I may not be killed in the day or the night, inside or outside, on the floor or in the sky. And in this manner, he put a condition so that I can remain immortal as a body. See, remaining immortal as a body and knowing well that the body is mortal, where from this funny confusion has come, be attentive. Why this happens? Because essentially we are immortal. So that essential immortal nature of ours is mixed up with the mortal body. And then I want to live as a body but immortal. This can never happen. Therefore, sarvadharman parityajya. If you really want to grow spiritually in life, please remember, as a body, so far not a single person has ever lived. Get out of this notion. If somebody is healthy, he is spiritual. If somebody doesn't grow old, he is spiritual. No. Otherwise, we'll have to say Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was the most non-spiritual person because he suffered from cancer. We'll have to declare that Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi was like an ordinary mortal because he also suffered from cancer. No. We'll have to say that Vishwamitra was an ordinary person because he was also getting angry. No. Please understand this. Sarva dharman parityajya. The only way is to rise above the limitations of the upadhi, the conditioning. We are all functioning through the 5 conditionings of the gross body, the pranamaya kosha, the dynamic aspect of our life, the mind, the instrument of perception, the intellect, the seat of the ego, and the eternal ignorance, the anandamaya kosha. And all the modifications are happening in this prakriti. Prakriti is that where vikruti is normal. But we want to remain in the prakriti without the prakriti not going into vikruti. It is impossible. Sarva dharman parityajya. We have to rise above all these things. There is no way out. First. Now the second vision. Sarva dharman parityajya means what? The body is produced by whom? By the parents. So who has the first right on our body? The parents. Therefore, our life is meant to serve them. See, friends, when you start serving others, you are doing the highest spiritual practice. In service alone, we discard our ego. A servant can never have the ego. A servant is never hurt. A servant is never insulted. Suppose I am the servant and my Malik tells me, Hare Ramu, get water. Useless. These days servants are very useless. When this is said, the servant is never insulted. Others never feel that the Malik is insulting the servant. But if the servant in return says, Babuji, how much water you drink? Are you a tanker or what? Enough of water. You suffer from water poisoning. If this is returned back by the servant, then it is the insult of the boss. To remain insult free, this is the technique. May sevaka sacharachara rupa Swami Bhagavanta. Then only sarva dharman parityajya. See, the moment you take this view of life, the arrogance of achievement and the guilt of failure will not bother you. All of us carry this load on our mind. Something, little thing are achieved through us and we start imagining, Konyosti sadrusho maya. I have done this thing, I will do that thing, I have constructed this, I have constructed that, I have given medicine to so many people, Ram. And then, when such a person doesn't get the recognition, he is frustrated, he is bitter. Please understand. The moment you have this recognition, that if we are able to serve somebody, it is the availability of the person to whom we can serve that we can claim that I can serve. See? Because there are no people to be served in the so-called overdeveloped nation. Those missionaries come here and serve and convert. See? If they have to serve, let them serve there. Service is the only method to dissolve the ego. Sarva dharman parityajya. One step further. Now, this is the third view. Very simple for the intelligent people to understand. Now this mic through which I am talking to you belongs to our Prempuri ashram. And I say to somebody comes to do namaskar, and I feel, I should give something to somebody. So I take this mic. Mita, you take this mic. I give you. Immediately, Prabhu will go, Swamiji, why? I have given out of love. You give these things, not this. Because that which does not belong to us, we cannot give up. Now tell me, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, whatever belong to us in this world? Nothing. Therefore, Sarva Dharman Parityajya means what? Recognition of the fact. Nothing ever belong to us in this world, nor anything will ever belong to us in this world. The moment you write off your rights, you have learned the secret of living scientifically. Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Therefore, when we imagine, Marna hi acha hai, it's better that I die. You have no freedom to die. This body is not yours, that you can go and kill that body. It is somebody else's body. What business you have got to go and kill that? See? If you have to kill, there is only one option. And that is your ego. Because ego is not created by God. Na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srujati prabhu. Ego is not the creation of the Lord. Ego is our own creation. That you kill. 3 views, now the 4th view. Sarva Dharman Parityajya. We should give something to somebody. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. We can give something to somebody. What we should give? Whatever we have. And what should we give? Whatever the other person doesn't have. Simple. We have got all the ego. And the Lord has no ego. So let us go. But jara jada hi ho gaya. Surrender yourself at the feet of the Lord. This is the meaning. Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Now the second thing. There is but one reality in this world. Ekam, not Anekam. And when you hold on to that one, which is one without a second, all other things will be one with the second. If you go to Ganapati, what will happen to Shiva? अच्छा मेरे बच्चे के पास जाता है, देख लूंगा. No. There is but one reality pulsating through the whole creation. That one reality, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. And Sharanam Vraja means what? This recognition, this understanding, this awareness. Now see how this awareness will change our life. This technique also I told you earlier. These are all the techniques hidden in this verse. Like when I come here for the lecture every day, before I come, some kind of poultry farm is going on. And the moment I enter, immediately everybody keeps quiet and gets. Why? Tradition, one. Second thing, no, Swamiji has come. And who is the Swami? Whom we respect. Be very attentive. The moment you become aware to whom you respect and his presence, your lifestyle, your behavior, everything changes, is it not? Now, if we become aware of the divine presence in us, every word that we utter, before we say the word, it is already authenticated by the divine presence. Before we think a single thought, that thought is first illumined by the Lord and then it is recognized by us. Any action that we do, every action, first it is reported, noted by the Lord and then it is known to us. Friends, when we become aware of this divine presence, we don't have to do any spiritual practice. Everything starts falling in the right place. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. What lacks in our life is this awareness. Therefore, instead of living at a material plane and suffering and developing a stink in life, let us discover this divine presence and discover the fragrance of existence. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. And the meaning of the sharanam is, we have to take the initiative. Please understand. There are two methods. One is, if the God wants, He will come and help me. Upanishad also says that Yamai Vesha Vrunute Tena Labhyaha Tasyaisha Atma Vivrunute Tanum Swam. When the Lord wants, He selects a particular seeker and to him the truth is revealed. And therefore I am waiting for His call. When we are not in a hurry, why should He be in a hurry? Our approach is like what? One student sued the university for biasness and the hearing was going on. His argument: my friend could clear through because he got the grace mark from the university. But university did not give me the grace mark. Do you know why? Because I am in a lower community. A standard argument in our useless country. All the time only one thing. There is nothing higher to think. So, they ask, okay, let us inquire. How much was the marks gained by your friend? He got 47%. We require 50% for getting through. The university has given 3 grace marks and he got through? Yes. Very good. What about you? How much marks you got? I got 3 marks. So university should give 47 grace marks. Thodi to sharam. Think. The grace of the Lord will descend if we deserve the grace. Please remember this. Don't have that kind of thing, oh, God takes care of everything, Unless we become qualified, the grace will be a disaster. See, once somebody asked Ramakrishna Paramahams that why this knowledge is not revealed to everybody. He said, the Lord is available everywhere. He is not available to us because of His grace. If He is available to us, we will not be able to contain Him. See, it is something like you have got a useless bulb of 0 power and you fix that bulb to a tremendous high voltage. It will burst open. In the same manner, we have to first of all be qualified, be capable. Then only the truth is revealed. Therefore, Mamekam Sharanam Raja means put forward all your efforts. And always remember, the last stroke is His sanction. Not because of our efforts. About this, I'll tell you, one young child asked me this question, about 10 years, 12 years. Very good boy, calm and quiet. He said, Swamiji, I go for Satsang with my mummy sometime, and I have been hearing always there is a doubt. And when I ask my mummy, she scolds me. So, she said, now you ask your doubt to Swamiji. And his doubt, see how intelligent. He said, you people tell us, when something wrong goes in our life, it is because of our last life's karma. When something good has to happen, you say, you should put on efforts. Why this is so? Why not we take, whatever is going to happen, so why work? Why put efforts? Or we say something good happens in our life, it is God's grace. Now why bring the God's grace? I said, hey, you are a very intelligent boy, listen the reply. We all have got this natural tendency to blame the world for our failures. Isn't it? We have this tendency. So to remove this wrong tendency, we are told, stop blaming the world. You are squarely responsible for all your life's achievements and failures. Because we don't blame others for our achievements. We blame others for our failures, isn't it? So attribute it to your past karma. Now, the second thing, if we have achieved success, attribute it to the God. Otherwise, what will happen? You will have a wrong notion that by your effort, anything can be achieved. And you will become, in due time, arrogant about your own activities. And if your external success because of your activities has made you an arrogant person, it is better to be poor rather than a rich arrogant person. To remove this negative aspect of the arrogance, we add this topic of the divine grace when we succeed in our life. These are all extremely technical approaches. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. As a result, what will happen? Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. I shall release you from all the sins. And ma shuchaha, don't worry. Now see, I'll explain this portion. It's very important in extreme exhaustive details. Now for this time being, we have seen earlier in the 54th verse, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. And in this verse we have seen Moksha Ishyami Ma Shuchaha. So these two verses put together is the message of Bhagavad Gita. What is that? First, don't be miserable, Ma Shuchaha. Second, be happy. Very, very clear. Otherwise, spirituality means we become unnecessarily serious. And because of this unnecessary seriousness, we have destroyed the beauty of our Bhagavad Gita. Just know how Bhagavad Gita was delivered. Prahasan Iva Bharata. Bhagavad Gita was delivered by Bhagavan Sri Krishna to Arjuna with a smile on the face, not with a frustrated dadi on the face. Arjuna, what to do, we have to do this war. Anyway, try. I am also with you. Ha ha. Every word that he uttered was with a sheer joy. Please remember, the message of Bhagavad Gita is in the disposition of the speaker. And who was the speaker? The one who never cried in his life. The one who had mountains of miseries, but who could transcend them as easily as anything. Therefore, Prasannatma and Ma Shuchaha, if these two principles you take in your life, you have understood the secret of living. It is our choice whether to be miserable or to be happy. And if we have tick mark, I want to be miserable. Click it. Are you sure? Again one plop comes there. And again if you yes and then continue. Check yourself, really? And then think again. Once you take these two views of life, we are in this world to express divine joy. We are not in this world to suffer and express miseries. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.